You excited?
I'm more than excited, mate.
Mate, we're not going to need that.
I brought this just for you. I've seen you on Fraser.
This weekend, me and Michael are going to take our families away with the X1s to Moreton Island camping. So let's go load up. All right, Michael, I'm going to take this one, I think. I need the kids' room, the girls need their privacy. So I've quickly jumped into the new X1 for the pure fact that it's so much better than the old one. I mean, I've used the older generation before, and whenever I finish camping, I'm like, I wish I had this, I wish I had this. So for me, there was no hesitation. I was going to jump straight into the new X1. I needed the tent because I know what the girls are like when we go camping. I love the barbecue. I wanted the barbecue. I don't like cooking on the stove. The big reason was I just wanted all the new features.
That's a fair call. I would have liked a little bit more of a conversation around it because I also like all the new features.
It's first and best dressed.
Well, we do have a perfectly good first generation, also in green, so it's going to look very matchy-matchy for us on the weekend.
It's going to look good.
I'm pretty happy to take the old generation anyway. Like, at the end of the day, I've got somewhere to sleep. We've got the kids somewhere to sleep without all the nice creature comforts that I'm kind of envious of you having. Yeah. But I'm still going to be able to go camping. It's just back to basics a little bit, I suppose. Yeah.
So I've decided to take the old generation X1 out with the new generation X1 because I think it's really good for us to understand how much the product's evolved and understand why you would really go for a new one over an old one.
Kind of forget how much that has evolved in 8 years. You imagine what we'll be doing in 10 years' time. Yeah,
look, I think that's the biggest reason for taking these two trailers out is to really reignite how far it's all come. Sometimes, you know, there's little things each year, and sometimes there's big things, but I think the main thing is that we know that we're continually innovating the product to where it is today. Okay, so this weekend on Moreton Island, I've got Megan, London and Lola. And Michael?
We brought along the fam, Sammy, Maya and Danny.
What do you reckon?
I think this is probably one of the toughest weekends I've had to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moreton Island, beautiful weather.
Mate, we're an hour from Brisbane and the water is crystal clear. I reckon you could be anywhere in the world.
Exactly. It feels like we're on a tropical island with the colour of the water.
So what we'll do, we'll drive up the beach a bit, we'll head inland and across to the other side. I think that's probably the best bet with the wind.
It's much more protected over the other side, especially with the way it's coming. So.
Let's get back in the car, guys, and let's move on. Well, look, I'm excited to get up to camp. I reckon we see how quick we can set these tents up. What do you reckon?
Are you challenging me to a race, Tommy?
You're on, mate.
So Moreton is so close to Brisbane City, a ferry that takes an hour, and you're literally on a tropical island with the clearest waters. You've got shipwrecks, you've got surf, you've got amazing beaches. So it's got everything. It's got some, you know, it's got good tracks. It's got amazing campgrounds. The rock pools, like it is got everything, and we're very lucky to live where we live that we can access this whenever we want.
When you think about it, really, Moreton Island for anyone Brisbane Gold Coast, it's the closest real decent camping destination there is.
This is it, kids. Eastern side of Moreton.
Look at that. Who's excited?
Oh, wow.
Is Tommy going to make it onto the beach without getting stuck?
Oh my God.
Hopefully. Are we going to make it?
Michael, this is it.
Look at this beach.
Oh,
Look at this.
oh my God.
One of the massive benefits taking a camper, especially to Moreton Island, is those quick setups and pack downs. Like, there's a big distance between going from where you like camp to some of the other locations around the island. So you don't want to be going backwards and forwards all day. If you've got a nice spot on the beach that you want to set up for, like taking all your gear with you, taking all the barbecues and everything like that, the ability to be able to just take the trailer with you, pack the tent down quickly and have that set up on the beach the entire day.
Okay, yeah, I think
It's across this, mate, so hang on. We'll go through this creek.
How good is this for the kids? This is amazing.
You reckon we go and play in the creek a little bit later, Sammy?
Yeah.
Get the boogie boards out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon this is us about here, mate.
Oh, this is pretty perfect.
I am not complaining at all.
pull up here and then we'll suss out what we're going to do. Setting up the X1 is always the main focus when we're looking at the camper trailers. You know, how quickly can we sort of get it into position off the car and, you know, pulled out. Jockey wheel location, it's now located on the drawbar, makes a huge difference. You're not trying to get it out the box or out the back of the car to connect it and then wind it up. It's already there, ready to go. But the big thing, the airbag suspension. I mean, being able to not have to sort of go, oh, is this flat enough for me? Click of a button, adjust exactly where the trailer's gonna sit, nice and level.
All comes back to time.
Yeah.
The time it takes, one less thing to do. One less 15-minute lap around the campsite to find a better spot to park. You all leveled up?
Leveled up, ready to go.
I just had to find a nice flat bit of ground. I think the airbags do make it a little easier when you're going away.
Mate, absolutely do, especially when you kind of got this beach outlook. You kind of never know what you're going to get. Don't always get the flat ground, so it is good.
We don't have the luxuries of that. But
No, that's all right. It's all good. So listen, you were talking this up over the radio, Michael, that you could set this up quicker than me.
I think I've got the team, mate. I think I've got the team.
Well, I've sent my team off, so I'm just going to do it. It's sometimes the best way when it's just one person doing it. You don't get all over each other.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it a good crack. I think we might have you in time.
Well, I don't think so. But what happens if I lose?
Dishes. The loser has to do the dishes for dinner tonight. And there's going to be plenty of dishes because when I cook, it is an absolute mess.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I'm always the dishes person, so I'm not going to be losing. All
Well,
right?
I think I got this. I got the team behind me. Let's get it done.
Okay, go.
You got me.
Well, mate, you need that because that looked like hard work.
There's so many things.
Lots of
so
things.
many things. It didn't look anywhere near as streamlined as what you did.
If you are someone that goes camping often, setting up tents and swags and all the rest of it is probably the biggest concern or letdown for most people with trailers, tents, whatever it is you're doing. And one thing with the evolution of the products, noticing your setup versus what I've got, Like, I'm used to setting up swags and rooftop tents, so to me it doesn't seem like it's a long time. Never really noticed until I watch you set up an entire palace, awning the whole lot, and be done by yourself, and I'm having to fight awning poles and pulling rooftop tents and attaching ladders, all the rest of it. It has come so far.
Yeah, the X1 CS3 tent is just, it is so good. I mean, it always, you know, whenever we show customers in the showroom how it sets up, they just cannot believe how it opens up and is set up like that. You know, they talk about it all the time. Oh, that's quicker than setting up my swag, or that was quicker than setting up my tent that we're using currently. That's what it's all about. I mean, a lot of people will come from using tents and swags and loading up the back of the car, and they're really looking for that speed, and that's what we're offering. We're offering a family tent that can be set up in 3 minutes, and an awning that can give you full coverage over your camper trailer that can be set up in another 3, you know, less sometimes. The integration, I think, is another massive thing. You know, you've got your awning and you've got a tent.
Yeah.
All right, I've got it all sort of integrating together, the tent integrating with the awning, awning with the tent, and it's all done by clips, you know, so it's not like, oh, I've got to put this other cover on there to get to this. We've engineered these things so well that, you know, there's one less step. We'll talk about it a lot, but it's one less step, which means there's one less thing to think about. And you don't have to think about the numbered poles, you know, A, B, C, D, on which one goes there. It's like, oh yeah, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
It works really well. That is really, I mean, look, it's really good to see that, you know, together as a comparison, because you can really see how we've just minused those little steps to get to where we are now.
Yeah.
And setting up the whole tent for the family like that.
Yeah. With this, you're having everything ready to go, attached, done, all your awning covers and everything that go around. Like, if I wanted to, I could probably spend another 30 minutes putting bits and pieces everywhere. But when it comes to camping, especially beach camping, it's all about getting it done quickly. I don't want to be spending 45 minutes setting up when we might go down to the beach later and take the trailers down for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I think you did a really good job. I love seeing that. I love seeing the evolution of the campers.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's so good. Well, look, cheers to that. Hope you bought your marigolds, because you're washing up.
Damn it, I thought I had you.
Running wild, yeah, we're running wild. We never stop till we have it all. Live for now, yeah, we live for now. And we forget what we can't control. See a million flashing lights as we're burning through the night. We've never felt so high, running with the wolves, breaking all the rules. Oh, we are, light it up, we're in free fall. We're in free fall, la 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 la. 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 We're in free fall, la 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 la.
The kitchen is such an important part of any camper trailer, really, and the X1 does it probably the best in the world I've seen. Have you got those secret potatoes on?
I do.
Excellent. What else have we got?
Roast lamb.
Roast lamb, fantastic. Now, what's your favourite thing about this whole kitchen?
Secret potatoes need herbs and spices.
Right,
Herbs and spices rack.
okay, excellent.
Pull out drawer
Okay, you like the pull-out drawer?
to get to the herbs and spices.
Yeah, it does make everything a lot easier with those pull-out drawers, doesn't it? And how long have we got for dinner? How long are we going to be waiting?
Camp oven for the potatoes, so about an hour. Weber for the roast, so about an hour and a half.
The kitchen storage is a massive improvement in the new X1. You know, being able to slide the drawers out and get everything you need in those drawers. I remember when I first used one of the first ones, I think you're still feeling it. You've got to really, strategically pack your camper trailer when you can't slide something out, because you've got to be like, oh, I'm not really gonna need that, so I'll put that right at the back. Because you don't want to be pulling stuff out to get to something else. So the new drawers and the storage that we've come up with in the new X1 is perfect. Everything works a lot better. You don't have to be so strategic in your packing. The other thing, obviously, is the bigger sink. Now, Michael's going to be experiencing this tonight. It's a bigger sink, so he's going to wash more than the first gen. And also, you've got cold and hot, because the old one only had a cold tap. So definitely a lot easier on those colder evenings. Plate storage in here, and wet storage as well for the, you're washing up liquid and sponges, and obviously cutlery drawer. Everything has its place. That's what makes this so functional when you're using the camper trailer. You've even got a good drainage hose that we supply to run the water away from your camp. At the moment, I've got it running underneath the camp, which, some people like it over there. That's how I do mine.
No one likes cleaning up. No one likes doing the dishes. I hate doing the dishes. I hate cleaning up.
Because you make a mess when you're cooking.
I have stuff everywhere.
Yes.
But being able to clean as you go is a big part. With the smallest sink that I've got compared to your nice new big sink with a hot tap that I also don't have, makes a massive difference. I think like the mission for me at the end of cooking, because I don't have that ability to kind of just hot tap on, sink and progressively clean, I've just got a whole heap of dishes at the end that I'm gonna have to try and clean in a half plate size sink. With the Rymex stainless steel bench tops, when we do end up clearing up after this delicious feed, we're going to be able to wipe it all down nice and easy, and it's hygienic. So Megs actually could have done all the chopping on there, but she used a chopping board this time. Let's get that on there though, because I think everyone will be pretty hungry soon. Megs did a really good job of that roast on that barbecue. It looked amazing. The barbecue cooks it perfectly every time. You can't really go wrong. I love cooking on a Weber, and I know you do as well. The things you can do with a Weber are complete, like it's never ending. The nachos, the roasts, all of the good food that you want to be able to cook when you're out. We do all of that all the time in a Weber. Not having a Weber this weekend in the front box and easy accessible for me, that's going to be the most difficult part of going camping and cooking all those great feasts and meals that you long for when you go camping. Obviously in your camper trailer, you are kind of limited to either the 2-burner stove for cooking, and I think we'll all agree that the barbecue swing arm changes everything. It gets back every time to making things simple, quick and easy. Yeah. It's been a huge day here at Moreton and the kids are ready for bed. So I'm going to turn off the lights. While I do that, I'm going to run you through the electronics on the camper trailer. This X1 has two 150 amp hour gel batteries on it and a tech pack. Now the tech pack will give you the Red Vision Red Arc battery management system upgrade, the 1000 watt inverter and airbag suspension. The new X1 has more than twice the battery capacity. 8 years ago, lead acid was still kind of not quite capable of being discharged and recharged constantly. Whereas now with the likes of AGMs and gel batteries, they're purposely designed for this application. So being able to discharge, completely recharge these and hold their charge for a lot longer, so it's not destroying the batteries. The one thing I wish I had on that camp trailer though this weekend was lithium batteries. Going from gel AGM to lithium now, it's night and day. The difference between charging times and discharge, like we were just talking about, are better again. Getting back to the whole concept and idea behind a Patriot camper is the lightweight and compact design. There's the weight saving you get out of optioning for lithium's 25 kilos of battery. So you've got 50 kilos of weight saving in a trailer, and at the end of the day, what you're carrying, or the weight capacity you're carrying in this day and age, is probably one of the most important aspects there are.
So the Red Vision actually comes with an app too, so you can turn things like lights on and off. You can check on what your power's doing as well, so I can see what my water's doing, but you can also see it from the screen as well. USB outlets here with a 12 volt. There's two 12 volts on the back, and there's two 12 volt and USB charging inside, so you can charge your phones at night. The camper trailer also comes with, as an option, the XRS Connect UHF radio. So you can create a bit of a base camp. So we let the kids go off with the radios today, and we could call them back when we're ready to go. So you were running a 15 amp charger in your camper trailer?
Yeah.
And now my one's running 30 amp charger, so I'm twice the charge.
Yeah, twice the charge rate. So putting more amps into those batteries, getting them charged up quicker, and at the end of the day, yeah.
Exactly what you need when you're touring. So another upgrade that mine's got is the TVMS. So rather than having all your little rocker switches, separate water level gauge, separate BMS, I've teamed it all into one user interface screen. So I can see exactly what my batteries are doing. I can see exactly where my charger's coming from, what lights are on, what power points are on, all from one screen.
Yeah.
Which makes it a lot better. Also, I've got the app on my phone, so I can operate that all through my app as well. So the new X1 has 3 sources of charging. You've got charging off your car whilst you're driving, you've got solar input, and you've got 240. So no matter where you are, you're always going to be able to charge your batteries up. Now, as part of the tech pack, like I said, we've got a 1000 watt inverter in here, and at the moment it's just running charger for my drill that I'm going to need tomorrow when we're packing up. Having an inverter on your camper trailer these days is so important. I mean, to use those plugs that they come with out the box, and anything with a 240 plug it straight into there and charge that device.
Laptop, drones, kids' electronics. So it's one of those things, again, that you kind of don't think about until it's taken away from you. You don't realise how important the inverter is this day and age until you don't have one.
That's it. Yeah.
For me not having one this weekend, I've got no other choice but to have to come and ask you really nicely if I can borrow your inverter to charge my...
What if you weren't with me, Michael?
Well,
Would you have flagged someone down?
I'd be in a lot of trouble.
You've got LED lighting throughout the whole tent, and you can dim it down. So as it gets to bedtime, you got a nice night light. Girls, you have a good day?
Yes.
All right, night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Love you.
Love you.
There is so much to do on the island that even if you spent 4 weeks solid, you still wouldn't cover everything.
You know, we're busy working, we're busy doing things. You know, you need to understand that it's important just to kind of go, right, we're going. With the Patriot X1, that's exactly what we've designed it for those quick weekends away where you hook up and you get out of there and you make a weekend of it.
Exactly.
All right, so I've checked my batteries this morning at about 80%. So what a lot of people make the mistake of is waiting for the batteries to get down to like 50% before they plug in their solar, and it's just not going to get the charge that you need. So at 80%, we've got some really good sunlight today, and I've got a Red Arc 150 watt solar panel, solar blanket, should I say, here with us today. So we'll just fold that out, plug it in, and top those batteries up. So we got some more power.
Yeah, oh, this is looking good, babe. The buns should be done. I think they're toasty enough. You want to grab those. Butter those ones up. Poached eggs are good to go as well. Ooh, this is looking amazing. So we've gone a little bit back to basic, I suppose, with the X1 we're using. Well, first generation, it is, doesn't have a barbecue swing away. So we're just using the little cooker that comes along with it. We've got the pan, pot, doing some poached eggs, bacon, halloumi, got the toasted buns, some hollandaise, so you guessed it. Eggs Benedict for breakfast on the beach. I'm pretty excited to sit down and eat this. Yeah, let's start serving up. Maya, you want some food?
Cooking is one of our favourite parts of camping, and I think the new stove that you've got in your trailer definitely sets it apart from what I'm using. To start with, I had a mad freak out thinking I forgot to pack a lighter. Trying to start a stove without an igniter was going to be the first problem of our weekend.
So we're doing a bit of cooking this morning. I'm on pancake duty for the kids. Using this X1 kitchen is fantastic, and this Dometic stove really helps when you've got a bit of wind coming across the campsite. The sidewalls protect it really, really well, stop the flame from going out. We've also got a ignition for the flame as well, so it makes things a lot easier and you don't burn your knuckles when you're trying to light it up. Grill plate underneath, so if we do want to do some toasty sandwiches later, we can. But yeah, this is a perfect little setup. You've got everything here to prep it with, and then all your cooking as well. Who wants a pancake? There you go, there's some Nutella in the rear drawer. All right, and next. So look, yes, the kitchen is probably, and we talk about it a lot, is one of the key features, because for me, camping is all about cooking and feeding the family. You've got the time, there's no time limit on what you're making, and it doesn't matter when you make it. You can make a roast at 3 in the afternoon if you wanted to. That is what we're here to. Kids are out playing, we can be here just making some really nice food as well. Let's get another pancake on. So the new Dometic stove, having an igniter on there, and also very easy connection to connect up the gas, a lot safer, to make sure that you connect it up properly. The windbreak walls, obviously, especially if you're at the beach, it can get windy. The last thing you need is the wind really tackling that flame. The new Dometic stove is full removable as well. So if you did want to take it out and cook somewhere else, if you've got a big group here, you want to do some communal cooking, you can remove it.
Those little changes along the way that just make life so much easier.
It's also got a grill plate underneath. So for grilled cheese on toast, toast in the morning, to go with the eggs and bacon. I mean, it's a nice, quick, easy way of making that happen. Michael, this is the CS3 integrated tent.
I'm already jealous, and don't show my kids.
Look, plenty of space. This one's actually got the multi-room added on. Okay, so we've got the kids' multi-room. They got their whole area in there. We can actually block them off. So you got 2 separate areas. Should we come to bed a bit later than the kids, which we normally do. Awesome setup with the windows, plenty of breeze, and not forgetting the tropical roof. So you can already feel it's pretty decent.
It is.
Day.
It's actually cooler in here than it is under.
Massive difference with that tropical roof. It's all about the setup,
Yeah.
For those people looking for, that little bit of luxury, something that's going to give them a bit more privacy, and they want a really comfortable night's sleep on a big bed with a proper staircase, the X1's the one to go for.
Yeah, I think it comes down to having the young family, the two adults, 2 kids, the safety, the comfort, the feeling like you're not out in the elements in the CS3 tent, as opposed to having a rooftop tent and a swag for the kids. I think that's a big consideration for families as such. So with having the kids with you, still wanting to be in the tent, it does come back to that little bit of a feeling of safety and comfort of being in there and not out on their own in the middle of nowhere.
Look, rooftop tents are great for those quick overnight stops. If you like a bit more privacy and you want more of a refined setup, the X1 is going to be the better trailer.
The airflow in here too, I can already feel like coming through the kids' room and everything. And the other thing I suppose too is all of your windows are covered, so
Yeah,
you can
straight
still
up.
leave them all open if it's raining.
That's it. Pocket spring, gel top mattress.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, yeah. And this tent's that good, you can fold all of this up on top and just zip that cover on. What do you reckon about this? You're pretty jealous of this area?
Mate, I tell you what, I experienced it firsthand last night with the rooftop tent ladder.
Yeah.
Trying to get out to go to the bathroom when it's a little cold on your tootsies.
Yeah. Whenever I walk up one of those ladders, I think it's going to slip away from me.
I don't know what it is about them. It just feels like they've never been designed to actually hold you.
No, they feel like they're going to slip out from underneath you, but obviously with the new staircase, the tent step design that we've created, it's obviously painted, you just feel a lot safer.
You don't feel like you fall off it.
No matter what time of the day it is, you know. We've got everything to access the kids' clothes, swimmers and all that stuff, so when we go to the beach a bit later, they can just grab all that stuff themselves.
And it gives you an entire new space to use, I suppose, especially if the weather turns bad.
Yeah. Look, and that's one of the big things. We can be in here playing cards. You know, if it really comes down, which we're on an island, you never know what could happen.
It can change in a minute.
You could just sit in here, sit in there, and you've got a really nice area to get out of the weather. The floors unzip, so you know you get a bit of sand. We are at the beach. In here, we can unzip them, sweep them out, wash them off. And everything like that, but this just has everything. I think for a family, this is the perfect setup. I love having my shower just out there too. It just makes another room like it's your ensuite now to the camper trailer.
Yeah.
But we keep it a little bit further away so we don't get the water through.
Yeah.
But hop, skip and a jump and you're into the shower and then back out again. And it's very, very easy to use.
How neat is that?
The X1 having the front awning cover, the awning, the tropical roof, the rear door awning, they're all things that are going to help protect you from the rain. And of course the heat, you know, once that sun comes out and it starts beaming again, the more sun you've got directly onto the walls of your tent, onto the roof of your tent, the hotter that tent's going to be. We're lucky that, you know, we've developed the X1 to be able to protect you from all of that. And be able to get from the kitchen back into the tent without having to go, all right, I'm going to make a run for it.
Yeah.
You know, with that rear sail is absolutely perfect. So, you know, we've really considered everything for people, again, looking for that more refined setup, something that can be added to, but you don't have to put those things up straight away. You can really set it up as much or as little as you like, depending on the weather. So we're going to take the kids out for the afternoon. I thought it'd be a really good time to run you through the storage on the new Patriot Campers X1. In the front box, or the man cave, you've got your barbecue with your barbecue swingway, you've got your utility shelf, and you've got plenty of storage for all your tools, recovery gear, straps, hoses, and things like that. There's also on the front box is your, you can option a MaxTrax mounting kit, which is easy to get to when you need to be recovered. Either side of the man cave, you've got the gas bottle holders. So they come standard with one. We've got one of the packages on there that mean we get two. And they're really easy to put the gas bottles in and out. There's just a strap that goes over the top. There's no unscrewing anything. You just lift it out and away you go.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those options that you kind of put on regardless, because whether you're wanting to run twin gas bottles for barbecue and cooker, or the other alternative, if you're not using a second gas bottle for whatever reason, you've got the diesel system. It's always a good spot as an extra little spot, bin bag area as well.
We used to have LED lighting in
Yeah, well, I've got
early ones.
LED lighting in the trailer I've got
But
now.
remember how we used to put it like right on that shelf? So the only thing it would shine on is everything on that shelf.
That's the problem I've been having all weekend with not being able to actually see what's underneath it.
Yeah, so the new ones have now got the LED light strip where on the lid of the man cave, so as it comes up, it's shining directly in there on everything.
Yeah. There's one thing that I'm most jealous about you having that I didn't have. That was the man cave with the barbecue swing away.
Yeah, the barbecue swing, Michael, is my go-to. I don't think I would option a trailer without it.
And I have the 2-burner stove, but trying to cook bacon, eggs, or steaks and everything on that while I've got the pot of veggies going at the same time. There was a lot going on in a very small space. So having the barbecue out the front would have made a massive difference for us.
Coming around the back of the camper trailer are the wet storage boxes. Great for recovery gear, floor mats, beach toys, anything that you don't want to put back inside the camper trailer. Then you've got the big rear storage. So this is where your big tables, your chairs, those big bulky items are going to go. Now here we have, which is slightly different to the older style of X1 camper trailer, is the pantry drawer. So in the old ones, they were stacked up like this. In the new one, they're all laid out like so. So getting your dry food and pots and pans is a lot easier. Plus, you've got these really cool separators, so you can separate everything out nice and neatly so the eggs don't get smashed everywhere. You can slide it in, you've got a nice rubber seal, and that's going to stop any dust getting into your dry food as well. Having that drawer and that large area to be able to fit all your chairs, your big bulky items in there is just perfect compared to the way your one is set out, where you've just got that sort of slim line. You're only really going to be stacking a few things and they have to be very shape specific.
The rear roller drawer section in your trailer versus the double drawers that I've got in mine, I think the use of space with the single roller drawer, all of your dividers just makes it so much easier to pack, especially when you're packing those items like chairs, tables, sort of big bulky stuff, and then you want somewhere to nicely divide your bread, your eggs, all those sort of bits and pieces that you want.
That nice large flat drawer. It might not be deep, but it's big and you can separate it really nicely. Let's go into the tent and I'll show you what the storage is like in there. In the new X1, one of the biggest differences is where we put the batteries. Been a bit more clever, so no longer they're here, that gives us more space to put clothes, toiletries, and other things like that. Now with these zip out pieces, you can still access all this when the tent's over and when it's been put away. The location of the battery on your X1, I could see really affected the storage on that right-hand side. So on the new one, you've got that nice large area inside the tent that you have full access to and use for clothes, toiletries, charging devices. On your one, you've kind of got half that.
Well, there was certainly no using the 4 storage boxes that I'd usually use in the side box because there wasn't the room there, which I didn't even think about until I opened the door and was like, I'm not going to be able to put all my storage bags in here. Another benefit from moving that battery from the right-hand box to now what we call the service module forward of the rear drawer is the having the weight all over the center of the trailer as well. So it's not sort of all over on one side. So the stability that offers when you're on off-road tracks or going around corners, all of those things taken into consideration makes a massive difference in the way the trailer tows.
You also can option the utility slide. Could be used for a porta potty. This trip I'm using it for my esky, and there's a utility shelf up the top that you can use for a camp oven or a solar panel. I reckon let's get these kids to the beach, let's get playing.
As we come onto that inland track, I think that was really when I started to notice the difference between the suspension and the wheel track of the 2 trailers. So I've obviously got a narrower wheel track than what you do.
I think the widening really was done in my model to fall in line with the wheel tracks of your everyday car.
And all I could feel mine doing was pulling on the ruts because the wheel track wasn't quite as wide as what my car was. So it was constantly almost making the vehicle feel like a washing machine. I was getting thrown left to right the whole time.
How's the bumps up there, Tommy?
Yeah, there's a few bumps on this track, isn't there?
Mate, we're getting thrown around everywhere. But your trailer sits perfectly over these bumps, hey?
Yeah, the airbags, mate, make a whole difference. How are you going? Because you got the coils on that one.
There's another thing, obviously, the suspension's been updated, improved, however you want to say that, along the way, evolved, as we say quite often.
Well, Michael, we've actually got two styles of suspension under our camper trailers. You've got the old XT suspension, and I've got the new X Crew suspension. So the XT suspension is something you can actually buy as a kit off the shelf, whereas the X Crew suspension is something that's integrated into the chassis for a Patriot camper.
So what that means is we've managed to drastically improve the ride quality of these trailers, keeping the wheels on the ground when they're needed most, allowing the suspension to do what it needs to do effortlessly across the bumps. How'd you go?
Mate, that track,
rough.
I know if anyone's been here before, the middle road, that is a hell of a track to go on, isn't it?
I'm glad I didn't have a full breakfast day. The whole time we're driving along, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I feel very good.
Mate, the car was bouncing around everywhere, but I looked back in my mirror and the trailer was just sitting there.
This was sitting solid. The car, like watching from behind, you could see your the D-Max just cruising around, and then the trailer's sort of wallowing through everything.
It's because I've got the new X Crew suspension with the roll sleeve airbags.
Makes a massive difference, hey? Especially because they work sort of like a dual rate spring, I suppose, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they get progressively harder as they compress.
I think one of the main aspects of any suspension system is having a good set of shock absorbers. If the shocks aren't matched to the product, it won't work. That's one of the things, or the advantages of us designing our own suspension system using local suppliers. We have the ability to tune those shock absorbers specifically for our application.
Watching your trailer kind of be shifting from side to side, it was very unstable.
All comes down to that shock being perfectly married or paired with the trailer. That dampening or the rebound of the shock absorber and the suspension, allowing to keep your wheels on the ground with keeping the trailer straight. Whereas in mine, obviously they weren't doing quite the job they should have been doing. They might have been rated too heavily or too lightly, which is going to cause those issues. Our chassis have changed dramatically over the years with what we now call our Ridgilite chassis, which gives us the perfect blend of both aluminium and structural steel to give us a lightweight yet incredibly strong chassis. I think we realised pretty quickly that the importance of having a spare tyre for your trailer, not all stud patterns match up these days. It's a little bit easier back then to get your cruiser wheel or Hilux wheel and swap it around. We don't have the luxuries of that, so having a trailer specific spare on the back is a super important thing. It's all those little things, hey, that you don't generally think about, but they make a massive difference when it comes to this.
Like, the evolution of the product has just been amazing. You know, the thought behind it has just progressively got better and better as the years go on.
Yeah. That last bit where we're coming through and the trailer and the car was sort of all undulating up and down through that section there was pretty cool.
Mate, that's it. That DO35 hitch works a treat. And also, when I almost got stuck there, I thought we were going to have to use these recovery points,
I thought for sure I was going to be like, we were all in the car going, come on, Tommy, get stuck, get stuck.
It was never going to happen, mate. Even though we've added so many great features to the camper trailer, dimensionally the campers are exactly the same size, and we've still managed to keep the weight really low.
As well as keeping the weight extremely low, the amount of storage we've managed to gain out of clever design is quite amazing.
Well, now we've hit the beach, it's time to get some lunch. So Michael, jump in your car and I'll see you down there.
I'm excited and hungry. Let's go.
Let's go. So I've just finished setting up the new PCOR awning. As you can see, there's a massive space under here for us to really enjoy the beach today. What I love about it though, fully independent of the tent, so I don't have to have the tent up to set the awning. This is independent. I've set a couple of windbreak walls up as well. We've got a lot of wind coming through this way. They fully zip together and you've got a nice elastic on the bottom to make setting up really, really easy. The walls kit also extends right way around to the barbecue area, giving you a nice entrance here. So if it was a little bit windy and rainy, we could set this up and be completely protected under here. You and Danny look like you really struggled with that vertical lift system.
I think at the time, the standard lift that we had on my trailer was the first of its kind, something to bring the awning from the level of the trailer up so you could stand underneath it. But obviously over time, that starts to become a bit of a nuisance with trying to set it up and pack it down by yourself. The scissor lift, exactly like you said, the ability to be able to pack one end down at the time negates the need for an additional person.
There's nothing more annoying than trying to hang onto an awning and then try and put in a pole and then attach a guy rope in order to secure it to the ground. With the new PCOR awning, you have integrated poles and guy ropes.
A massive time saver, which is what we're trying to achieve all the time when you're camping.
So I've got 17% more coverage on my one than the 2013 one that you're using. I know we really noticed it, you know, over the weekend, just having that lot more livable space under the awning. The awning's really protected us from the sun today. I'm gonna go check on the kids. Megs, you got lunch? Perfect. We'll see you back here shortly. Seeing the camper trailer from what it was and what it's now, I think that's how you see Patriot Campers, you know, the evolution of not only the product, but the business. Manufacturing these products is just, it's evolved as well. You know, we've gone from a very small shed building camper trailers to now a large, you know, manufacturing facility where we've imported so many new processes to make sure that we're producing, you know, a quality product.
So we've recently achieved our ISO 9001 accreditation, which has been an absolutely incredible journey. I don't think either of us could comprehend how much work needed to go into achieving that. From the moment you come to the door to the moment your trailer rolls off the production line, you're assured that every step of the way is taken care of.
As far as, you know, manufacturing in Australia, I mean, it's not dead, it's still very much here, and it just shows, you know, people buy our product that, you know, that's what we're committed, and that's why a lot of people would want to buy into Patriot Campers.
The fact that the families behind our employees, the families behind the suppliers, it's the people that are here. It's Australian people, and I think to me that's probably one of the biggest, it is the biggest reason that I love working here.
So you've seen how the product's evolved over the years.
You can see the passion and everything that's put into producing our trailers comes from or stems from the backgrounds of these people that work right in this building.
Talk to any one of our customers who has, you know, bought a product and used it, been on a family trip, and talk to them about how it's changed their camping. And I think you'll find the same response. It's made it quicker, easier, and with all of those improvements, they've really accumulated to giving you what we think is the perfect camper trailer.
It really is a camper trailer capable of giving you the best trips away.